With in-depth reports from BBC correspondents and interviews with the leading players. Daily current affairs on BBC World now in Asia Today.
Hello and welcome to Asia Today. In this programme, climate talks inch towards compromise as the US and Europe step back from confrontation at the Bali conference. And building bridges of understanding, Japan makes a strong showing at the International Festival for Non-Violent Cinema. Now, Japanese filmmakers have scooped half the prizes at this week's Monaco Angel Awards, the International Festival for Non-Violent Cinema. 4 awards went to a unique Chinese-Japanese collaboration, the first joint production touching on Japan's wartime occupation of China.
At Monaco's Princess Grace Theatre, Japanese filmmakers enjoyed their moment of glitz and glory. Europe buys heavily into samurai warrior culture, but the 5th International Festival of Non-Violent Films showcased the peaceful cinema of Japan. The Angel Awards encourage socially aware filmmaking, which doesn't resort to gratuitous violence, stories which don't climax in explosions and shootouts. Winning Best Film, the story of a charismatic teacher with a fatal cancer who helps a disadvantaged girl cross barriers of wealth and class to study at a prestigious university. Japanese filmmakers who've come to Monaco for the Festival of Non-Violent Cinema are working against a background of new-wave Yakuza gangster movies and manga comic strip violence, which is highly popular. They've chosen to swim against that tide. Film director Hideki Wada is also a professor of psychiatry. He says the vogue for violent cinema in Japan has psychological roots.
The gap between the rich and the poor is enlarged. So probably the poor people, so the people who thinks he is loser is very much frustrated. He want to get more power by seeing such a kind of a movie. The hero has a very strong power with violence. There's special sensitivity over one film here about Japan's wartime occupation of China. We have a strong guilty feeling for China because of Nanking, or we attacked them. But documentary film or other film has a tendency to be one-sided. A conciliatory approach is taken in this true story of Japanese teachers sent to China after Japan's invasion, then stranded on the mainland when Japan lost the Second World War. Filmed in China, it took 8 years and delicate negotiations to bring this Japanese-Chinese collaboration to the screen.
It helped that we chose a well-known Chinese director. With his good connections, we got the locations we needed. And both Japanese and Chinese, we have the same aim, to make a more peaceful world.
In one scene, Chinese villagers at first vent their anger at Japan's earlier brutality on 2 lost Japanese teachers, but are persuaded to spare them. The festival organisers were saddened that Chinese actors they'd invited didn't come to Monaco.
They should let their actors come and present a great cultural unity between Japan and China. I think it's probably the case because of the Dalai Lama had his film with us this year in the festival, that they pull these actors out of the festival.
In this bittersweet tale, the stranded Japanese woman teacher bonds with the Chinese farmer who helps her. 1 Japanese and 2 Chinese filmgoers gave their reactions to the premiere.
Maybe until the next generation we're going to forget it, but still now every year we still have some demonstrations.
It's not something to forget the history. We never forget the history. Or the things the good things in this film is we see the things move on.
I think we are now in a new generation, and we think about the future also.
Yes.
The shadow of 1945 hangs over this end-of-war drama. It ended Japan's brutal domination of China. With this week's emotive 70th anniversary of the Nanjing massacre, movies and documentaries due for release in both countries, with their one-sided accounts, will reopen old wounds. But one film at least will be encouraging reconciliation. With European awards behind them, Japanese and Chinese filmmakers are now seeking permission from the government in Beijing to screen their co-production in China. Andrew Burrows, BBC News, Monaco.
Well, that's it from this edition of Asia. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.